The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Good morning, this is Frank Skinner. It's Boxing Day. This is the sort of best bits of this year's show. It's good, isn't it? Merry Christmas.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner with like a radio show thing that involves Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane in quite a big way. You can normally text the show, but don't text us today, please, because we're not here.
Nice.
I love that.
Bit of newsreader.
Yeah. I love a bit of newsreader. Did I ever tell you?
Maybe off air.
Yeah. I didn't know about that particular night.
Yes. It wasn't him. It wasn't Sir Trevor.
You know, that would be my favourite celebrity partnership.
What, me and Sir Trevor
Yes.
McDonald? Well, that could work. He loves cricket.
I'd love that.
Oh, I can imagine me and him maybe in one of those bats when the taps are in the middle so we can both lie back.
Nice.
I think you'd settle disputes very quickly as well, little marital spats, because you're both direct and to the point, you know?
Yeah, I think I don't think he's a bloke who would just, let you have your own way by any means.
No, I think he'd overpower you in a second.
Oh, no, I don't think he'd do that, would he? How old is he?
Oh, he's of an age, but I
He's
still think
80 odd.
No, I'd
think he can go.
I'd have him over if he started. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I can take the night. Roy Orbison underwater. We'd come in soon to a swimming bath near you. So, you never know what's going to happen on this show, do you?
Well, unless you read the script that the writers send us.
Oh, yeah, that script. When's that coming?
They've gone mad this week, haven't
They send it a week early, yeah.
All that Roy Orbison underwater stuff.
I might have a word with them about that Trevor McDonald stuff. I wasn't sure about it.
Yeah.
I think they were on the edge.
At least we can blame them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, God, imagine if I'd just said that myself. Anyway, I'll tell you what I did this week. I erected a structure in my garden.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I built
Trevor
my
McDonald
first. He was out.
Leave it, Frank.
I've got to tell you, he's been out.
I've told you, leave it.
He's been out 3 nights this week. I'm not happy about it.
I need my freedom, Frank.
Came
You
in
have
the
to
other
understand
night.
that.
He came in covered in seaweed. He'd been at Roy Orbison's DVD record.
Oh, yeah.
They went out. They went wild. They went actually into the sea this time.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I built a trampoline.
Oh, lovely.
You ever built one?
No, I've never built one.
No.
I imagine it's a lot of looping bungee cord.
Oh, I do not know.
Did you do it on your
It
own
isn't.
then?
No, you can't. I don't know if you could do it on your own. I'll be honest with you.
Trevor helped out.
Trevor's out, so I got Kath round.
Trevor was at a phone
what got
party.
me, he was the first to ever go on it when he got in.
I'll bet.
I tell you, he can do that thing when he lands on his bum and comes straight back up again.
Fun.
Yeah, brilliant. And that's without spilling a pint of Guinness. So
So
we're
you
really
and Kath?
Yeah, me and Kath, we built a trampoline, and it is really hard. I tell you what you do. You're not looping things. There's springs, and they have to go onto hooks.
Oh, I've seen those springs.
Yeah.
But you do the first couple, and you think, "Oh, this will be easy," and then the next one, and there's a special tool that you have to put onto the spring, and then I had to lie on my back on the floor with my feet against the ridge of the trampoline, and just pull like that. Reminded me once I was getting a blackhead out the side of a cow with a corkscrew. It reminded me of that. You really have to bring your feet up. You have to be careful you don't do your back in.
Oh.
No.
And the more you do, the harder the taut. Is that the right word? The taut.
It needs to be taught.
No, it's-
T-A-U-T.
Oh, is that the name of the
talk?
trampoline surface? You mean?
Talk. Is it?
Oh, talk. I believe it is
Yes,
talk.
talk like they say about cars on Top Gear, don't they? They talk about talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds right.
I
Yeah.
think it was. Yeah.
You know
Like,
he
don't
would
want
know the
loose-
answer to that because he knows the answer to everything.
You don't want loose talk. But we got it. We put some people have said to me, well, I think Daisy said to me, got about 2/3 of the way through the springs and thought, that'll hold him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. She's reckless. We got everyone in place. It's so
Did you?
Good for you.
It's so now tight, like he might as well have just jumped on the floor, saved ourselves a lot of time. There's no giving it at all. It's just like jumping on stone. But the satisfaction of having built a trampoline.
I don't know that Mick Jagger song.
Yeah, you could learn a lot. You should get. You should build some children's entertainment in his garden.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I stayed at a hotel this week, and I had the usual. I went down to breakfast. Have you ever been down to breakfast in a hotel when there's no one else there?
Yeah.
It's a weird.
Can we establish, this is one of my favourite things about Frank, is that he doesn't have room service. Why, Frank? Because he likes people.
I like to look at who's at the hotel.
Yeah.
I love watching people at hotel breakfast because that people when they walk into a hotel breakfast room are so awkward often.
Yes.
You can see even
What is
the
that
ones who
awkwardness?
aren't awkward are being deliberately not awkward. They're thinking about it. People really think about what they look like and how they're moving and stuff when they walk into a.
Do you all sense that there's a real feeling of superiority with the ones that are already present as well? It's
Yes.
horrible walking in.
You're walking in it's like walking into a Wild West saloon.
Yes.
I also think there's a sense of superiority between the showered and have-nots. I go down unshowered quite often for the hotel
Oh,
breakfast.
is that right, Al?
And you can really sense that people have cleaned and they feel better about themselves.
And apparently you can't wander down in a nightie. Who knew? Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's why I'm no longer welcome at many a premiere in...
I've seen people in a robe at breakfast.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd
Was
go
that
rogue.
Catherine Parr, I think, when I stayed at... No, in one of those white,
In a spa hotel or a normal?
Oh, that'll be a health farm. That'll be when he was away.
in a health farm, you imagine, there's a lot of it about...
Can I tell you when I lose respect for people?
Go on.
Always. When they wear those, the free slippers you get
Oh, yes.
with the robe.
Go on, they wear those
We're
to-
better than that,
to
aren't
breakfast.
we? Yeah.
I take them home. Where does that fit in? Of
course you do.
I've got them at home. I find them very hard. I have to walk very clawed, toes very clawed to keep them on. Oh, it's like trying to climb a slippery circle. You know on I'm a Celebrity towards the end when they fire that big hose down the hill. It's like that walking in them.
Where do you stand on waffle robes? I
don't like those.
Nor do I.
No.
Alan?
No.
I don't even see those things. I would never think of keeping one. I just see them.
They're thin and
I didn't like the way you talk to me then. I've
almost
been
like
married for 40
furniture
years
in
and you
them.
barely tolerate me.
But they are. I have leaned over a piece of toast and grated cheese onto it on my waffle robe. Just held the sleeve out and grated on that. But I had. I'll tell you what I had. This is the only. I never have this ever unless I a hotel breakfast. I had a bit of tinned fruit.
Oh, lovely.
Who buys that?
Lovely.
I don't think anyone's bought that since GIs used to give it to sort of skittish English girls in the north in order to get favours. But I'll eat it in a hotel.
Really?
So anyway, I'm sitting in there and I'm completely on my own. There was one waitress bopping about, and you'd feel a bit ashamed when you're on your own. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But would you believe it? What came over the pipe music all by myself?
Oh,
And
lovely.
I sat alone eating tinned fruit with all by my... It wasn't even the Eric Carmen, but it was like a cover.
Oh.
Oh, dear. Isn't it great, though, when something happens, music comes on, and it's such a soundtrack to what's really happening?
Yeah.
It's like the best thing. Did I ever tell you about the time I went up to a didgeridoo player in Edinburgh, at the Edinburgh Festival?
I hope you didn't say something awful.
No, I said, do you know All By Myself by Eric Carmen? As if he could have gone... just looked at me.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'm the victim of some sarcasm here.
Huh?
But
What a gone.
if I may say so, some foolish sarcasm. An email has said, average speed cameras work out the speed by averaging the speed of a car between 2 points, full stop, highly misleading, ...
No.
They do
That's
do
what
that.
I thought they did.
That's what I thought they did, but they also measure your speed as you drive past them, and if you're over the speed that is...
Because
so there
it's
you
a
go,
speed
Mr.
camera as
Sarcastic.
well as
It's a
an
speed
average
camera as
camera.
well.
You made that perfectly
I
clear.
really did, but sometimes you put it out there and you can't...
Oh, this is our readers you're talking about.
You can't
this
legislate
guy
for how-
probably paid 50p to send that text in. Now leave it!
I think he did it by email. I think he sent
Oh,
his
well, in that
sarcasm
case-
by email.
In that case, it can clear off.
Look at you with your shirt off, with a beard, talking about driving. It's working.
No.
Can I tell you what wasn't working? Fidel.
Oh.
Now, I don't mean he's unemployed, but he was out and about this week, and he was.
Are we
packed-
talking Castro?
Oh, of course, Castro.
There must be other Fidels. aren't there?
Really? Well, he was packed. He was in the Daily Mail, actually.
Was he packed?
In the column of shame. Well, he had a meeting with François Hollande.
Fidel Winton. Yeah. With who?
François Hollande.
Oh, yeah.
Is he the Dutch Prime Minister?
No, he's
Very
the
good.
French.
Very good.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay.
How do you pronounce it, Frank?
I think Hollande.
That's okay. Okay, I'll have that. But he had a bit of a style fail because...
Francois or Fidel?
Oh, not Francois.
They don't have, the French don't have style.
Of course they don't have
I
style
thought his
fails.
suit was a little big, but let's pray continue.
Really? Anyway, he went for a tracksuit. He went Elton. You know how Elton wears the tracksuit?
Oh, do I? Do I ever?
As
I think
formal
actually
wear.
it was slightly worse than Elton, because at least Elton would have the good grace to wear it over a round neck t-shirt, but he
Whereas
goes
what did
for...
Fidel go for, Al?
He goes for the checked
The check shirt. He went Microsoft inventor.
Not only check shirt,
Honestly.
but button-down collar.
Yes.
He went,
Yeah.
he went, they think it's all over.
And, Frank, untucked. A bit Hoxton
I
untucked.
know, it's crazy. So, I mean, picture this, a black Adidas tracksuit
Yeah.
with a check shirt with a button-down collar underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no military cap.
None.
No.
No cigar.
No
Not a
epaulets.
hint- not a
What's
hint
happened
of
to
khaki.
him?
Nice tracksuit, but no cigar.
Where
He-
was the khaki?
Do you know what he looked like?
I think it was in the middle of the table. But the other ones.
I mean, I know he's of an age, but he looks like a man that slept in and picked up whatever was cleanest off the floor. doesn't he?
know.
That's
Do you know what I'm
I
calling
shirt
that
and
outfit, Al?
tracksuit is-
I'm calling that row with the wife.
I'm calling it Raoul with the wife. I think he's arrived that morning. It's very
Yes.
tempting when you get a freebie to put it straight on.
Oh, tempting.
That's what
Oh,
it is.
my Gotham hooded top. Straight in.
Yeah.
I love that you think the same, you and Fidel. Also, I noticed
Great
he went
minds.
for the Mick Jagger Man of a Certain Age black platform trainer.
He did,
Are you
yeah.
familiar with those?
He did. He went for the I Suffer With My Feet a bit prescription black trainer.
But I've still got it.
He's getting on
Trainer.
now. He's getting on
He is.
there,
He
Castro.
is. And he, as a young man, he rocked a style, didn't he? I loved his epaulets.
Well, I mean, the great thing
like
about his old style took all the decision making out of getting
Yeah.
dressed in the
I
morning.
wasn't
you
sure.
are,
It's a
don't
bit
you?
Camden Town vintage shop,
it.
his look.
I like that. I'm fine with it.
What do you think about this? I mean, I know obviously Elton's a fan. Daley Thompson, as you may
Fan of a
recall,
tracksuit.
all
Yeah,
of us
but
may
Daley
recall.
Thompson earned the right to wear a tracksuit at any time.
Well, at
Forever.
Sebco's wedding.
Even for St. Coast.
Can't wear it around the font.
Did he wear a
Yes, it's one of my I cut it out of the Hello magazine.
Oh,
it's one of my favourite pictures ever taken of a human being. In a tracksuit at a wedding.
Brilliant.
What colour was it?
Grey.
Oh, well,
Smart.
yeah.
Smart and up.
I'm calling it formal tracksuit.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'm still, and I'm going to be completely honest now, I couldn't put my hand on my heart and say I know whether it's Nike or Nike.
I think Nike is the goddess that it's named
Yes,
after,
that's
but
the
I think,
Nike, yeah.
I think we all say Nike now, so it's...
So you don't know either.
I think...
That's what that sounds like to me.
Well, I think it's allowable. I think Nike, I would say Nike, probably.
So
Yeah.
already I've asked two people, one says Nike, one says Nike.
I wonder which one you're going to trust.
Let's call the whole thing cloth. What do you remember when the FA marketed the England tracksuit tops as
Oh,
anthem jackets?
Oh, yeah!
I did not add
that. That was during the Green Flag period.
Oh, fabulous! As if it's a jacket that you put on in order to sing the national anthem and then take it off.
didn't
I don't think
like
they do that anymore, do they? I think they realised it was. I accidentally bought a pair of. I had no idea. I bought a pair of snowboarding trousers.
that. Oh my goodness.
I know. They just look like a pair of baggy grey trousers.
I worry that your standards are slipping.
Hang on, Al.
I think
I need to know. I need to get forensic on these trousers. Did they have elasticated waist?
They had some elastication, but also some like fast. They were grey. They weren't like that shiny, skein material. They were like grey cloth. Lots of zips, a lot of outer zips.
Useful.
And like a fastening thing.
What were your hems
at
like?
the ankle.
Were they? Oh, they were fastened at the ankle.
Well, they had like you could tighten them.
Were they bondage
I thought, well, if I go ratting, I'll be glad. I'll be glad of that. But I had ages. I had them before somebody said to me, "Do you snowboard?" I said, "Obvious. Why would you say that?" And they said, "Well, those are snowboarding trousers."
Would you? Can I ask? Tracksuits. Would both of you wear the full on, or would you go for the just the top half with the tracksuit top?
I could. I mean, I would wear it if I was doing sport and under no other circumstances.
Really?
When I see people knocking around the streets in like jogging things who don't jog,
Would you not wear that?
I just don't think that's.
I'm actually in the market for a full-on tracksuit. I'd like top and bottoms. I've not got any of that. I've got separates.
Yeah, but would you wear them socially? Is what we're saying. No, you wouldn't.
I'd wear the top.
Well, Daisy's wearing a fencing top.
Yes, which can I say, she has accused me of getting makeup on this morning. The row
Yes.
got quite bad when you went out of the room just now.
did
I
it?
don't like the airing
She said,
of
I'm
dirty
sure you did. It
laundry
was
in
you that
public.
got the makeup on the top.
I'm sure you can parry that accusation.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Another email here that I'd like to bring to your attention. Are we still in the corner? Is that where
Oh,
we
I'm
were?
still in the corner.
Yeah.
Well, let me dazzle you with this one from Liz. On the subject of mnemonic, my science teacher from 30 years ago used to make us remember the planets in order from the sun. Thus, many volcanoes erupt mouldy jam sandwiches, usually not plum. It has stayed with me all this time despite making no sense whatsoever. Perhaps this generation of school kids can use it too. Pass that on.
Many jam.
Many volcanoes
The trouble is
erupt.
with that is they're supposed to be easily memorable to make something that's hard to remember
Yeah.
easier. But it'd be easy to memorise the planets. The problem with the planets is you got Mars and Mercury.
Right.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't want in a mnemonic.
yeah,
you don't really
fine.
want two things with the same initial. That was bad naming
That
on the
doesn't work.
part of the early astronomers.
That's true.
I agree. I agree.
But you
So
know,
which is which, though? Many volcanoes erupt mouldy jam sandwiches. Which is Mars and which is Mercury? Because it
I
doesn't
don't
give
know.
us a clue.
That's it. You see,
Doesn't tell us.
I don't know the answer to that. Lots of people listening will know.
I mean,
MA should be
volcanoes is
Mars,
Venus,
really.
surely.
The truth is, the
Oh,
planets.
yeah, that sounds right.
MA might be Mars.
It could be, but the planets, they're pretty much the same anyway. There's not much between them,
think?
appearance-wise. Saturn, obviously. But if you was to go to
What's your favourite planet, Frank?
No, but let's put this. Maybe if a planet was involved in a crime and you went to an identity parade, other than Saturn, you wouldn't have
yeah.
a clue. You wouldn't
a
have a
good
clue
point.
from looking. You'd recognise Earth, obviously, but that... I
Yeah.
mean, you think red planet, but would you be sure there's only one?
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't take part in more petty crime.
They're interchangeable, really.
David Gandy gets away with it. I'll tell you what I've picked up just lately. FOMO.
Pardon?
FOMO.
Oh, fear of missing out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's a really good one, I
FOMO's
think.
good.
Because you see a lot of stuff on the internet, words and text language, and I think, well, it doesn't really add anything. But fear of missing out is quite a good thing to be able to.
Yes.
I wish I'd have had that when I was a teenager.
FOMO.
Yeah, because fear of missing out's a big thing when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with girls.
And YOLO.
I'd say I was a homosexual.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Boys, I've got a question. Where do you stand on Minogue? Are you fans?
Yeah.
Would you?
Where of her work?
Would you?
Would I
Do you find her attractive?
date her?
Yeah.
I interviewed her once in her golden age, and I must say she had that kind of skin that seemed to emanate light.
Oh, lovely.
She was like, if you can imagine a sort of Kylie Minogue bedside lamp with just like a head-sized head on it. That's what she was like. Of course, we didn't know about the Botox then.
Frank.
No, but it might have been that. I look back and think it might have been that. I remember a bloke saying she got fantastic Botox.
Oh, yeah.
The brows are high, I won't lie.
But she was, I thought in the flesh she was pretty stunning.
Oh, yeah, she's
But, you
stunning.
know, that was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, she may be stunning, but she's having problems finding a mate.
Yeah.
She says she thinks she might have been going wrong with the quality she's been looking for.
Yeah.
She says, maybe too good looking is where I've been going wrong. I don't mind grey hair. I don't mind bald or balding. I don't even mind a bit of a paunch.
I don't mind balding. She really is broadening the... Right, mate. I suppose if you're lonely.
Uh-huh.
Can I say I don't mind any of those things?
No?
I just feel that at the end of it, she's saying, as long as they're rich.
Yeah.
Isn't
Losing
she?
touch of that. Yeah.
Yes, because a lot of attractive women will go out with balding grey men with paunches. As long as they got a few hackers. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, that's not... My deal breakers are bad shoes and emotional cruelty.
Oh,
Yeah. In that order?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you say deal breakers, they're the things that you don't want or that you do.
I don't think... I'm sure Kylie doesn't want emotional cruelty. I would imagine she's had enough of hearts broken.
Oh,
She
Frank.
don't want to take that anymore.
Good point.
One of my favourite things about Frank Skinner is that he knows a lot of Kylie Minogue's back catalogue.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love those bits that go, had enough. I never really worked out whether Kylie, they just put an echo on it, or whether she had to actually go, I've had enough.
No. Right, yeah.
Do you want to say Paul
They've probably got a
one of Frank's
machine for
favourites.
that.
And that bit in, I should be so lucky, does she actually go, my imagination, or do they do that after? Do they do it in post, as we say in the business?
Nice. Bit of added knowledge.
Speaking of bedside lamps, did I ever tell you about mine?
And other things no one ever said ever.
Did I tell you about when I had a sound activated bedside lamp? I must have told you about that.
Don't know.
I had a football
Yeah.
shaped bedside lamp.
Oh, yeah.
And, the football lit up from the inside.
When was that? 96, perhaps?
It was around then. Someone had sent it to me as a gift. And you get into bed and read, and then you put your book down and go with the hands, and it went off.
Brilliant.
And then if you woke up in the night, a bit thirsty, it came.
And then someone brings in your author, because you've got staff there just
Well, it'd be
waiting by the
nice if
door.
he got a round of applause, then it'd be going on and off all night.
Now, the terrible thing, and I got to be honest with you, is every time I broke wind, the light came on.
Brilliant. Love it.
Disgusting.
I know,
I love
it was. I didn't want it highlighted.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
What about George Clooney?
George Clooney, what about him?
Well, he's been saying... he got married recently to Amal McFadden, I believe she's called.
Amal McFadden.
Yeah.
It's one of the same
She could have
family.
been, but for a trick of fate, she could have been
Yes.
Amal McFadden.
He's been declaring, how much he loves her. He says...
How long have they
from
been
the moment,
together?
I love the note of suspicion in your voice. How long is it, Des? You know the Gossip Weeklies.
About 8 months.
Oh,
Is
she
that
knows.
since
8
the
months.
wedding, or how long have they been together? The wedding was quite quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A bit forensic. He says, from the moment I met her until now, spending the rest of my life with her is the most important thing. What do you say to that, Frank?
George Clingy, I call him. That's what I'm calling him from now on.
It is a bit needy, isn't it?
Oh, I don't like the sound of that at all.
Well, I'm with you, Frank, on what was the Guardians of Each Other's Solitude? I like that you
Rainer
said.
Maria Rilke,
Yes.
the German poet, said that you should be the guardians of each other's solitude, not wrapped around each other like Play-Doh.
That is nice. Yeah.
Yes.
It's
But,
also,
then it's new for them, obviously.
it's also patently not true, because they're both still working. Like, they must have enough wedge to just turn everything down that meant leaving home if he was that bothered.
She's got the Elgin marbles to sort out. She's a busy woman.
Is that
Don't
what she's
Clooney
doing?
grabbing hold of her leg.
Well, he could go. I mean, he's saying, we won't spend more than 1 week apart. But
Is
they
that
could
what he
just-
says?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not going to spend more than a week
No.
apart.
What about his commitments to being Nespresso's international brand ambassador?
He's going to do it all on Skype from now on.
Skype?
He's doing everything on Skype. Even those film junkets, he's just going to have his laptop in the corner of his hotel room. Wherever she is, they're
Mate,
Skyping.
So the commitment that Nespresso made to him now, it means
Yeah.
nothing.
He's pure Skype. They're going to have a Skype logo in the background, sponsored.
Poor Nespresso been dropped like some old ex-girlfriend. Espresso, I call it. I know, actually, I think that's already been it's been used.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Can I talk about myself, Frank?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So I've got quite a lot of things to tell you both.
Okay.
I went to see David Baddiel this week,
Professionally or personally?
professionally.
Oh, okay.
I went to see his work in progress.
Oh,
Very good 12.50 worth.
oh good.
Do you know, I heard Barbara Windsor say that once when I was at a Sue Pollard gig.
What?
She said, good 10 quid's worth, darling.
How lovely.
So this was good 12.50 worth, darling.
Yeah. Babs.
And it was such a relief to be able to laugh with abandon. You know that feeling when you've been to see a friend and you think, thank heavens it was good. And it was. I'm going 5 stars for a work in
5
progress.
stars?
Yes.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Yes.
Tremendous work.
You can use that on the poster. Afterwards, though, we went for dinner. It
Yeah.
was me, David, and a man he introduced as his friend from university. Could have told us he was the editorial executive for BBC Two. We've got ideas to pitch, Frank, haven't we? We've got so many documentaries.
I haven't got any ideas.
We've come up with so many on this
Come
show.
up with a lot, actually.
Have we?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there was what was that one? The Bells of Wales.
Yeah,
Bells of Wales.
exactly.
When I go from Welsh church to Welsh church,
That's the tip of the
Exactly.
iceberg.
talking
that.
about the different. Oh, there's me and Ollie Mers
You and
built,
Ollie
built a
Mers.
Catholic church in the
Exactly.
Antarctic.
We could have got all those off the ground. My
I have to say, I'm sorry, cold, frank, incense, and Mers. That was the.
and you say
can't
you
do the
don't have
setup and not
ideas.
punch
Come
lines.
on.
I know, but they're rubbish ideas.
What
Still,
about?
that wouldn't stop them being made. As long as they got a punning title, they're in
Well,
the
what
show.
about my idea for the story of Adrian Charles's birth, when A. Childs is born?
That is brilliant.
Come on, we've got ideas.
That is good.
Anyway, so we sat down and we had dinner. What has happened to men's food? I mean,
Men's
what do
food?
they eat now? It's
What
all
about
gone
when-
Californian.
Let me
What
guess.
about when
put it
A.
down.
Childs is bald? And it could be. So it could be a programme about the future, like Tomorrow's World, but that could be the general title, When A. Childs is Bald, which is what 10 years' time, say. So what life will be like then? And it can end when A.
What
Childs.
life will be like then?
Yeah, well,
It will affect all of
10
us.
years.
No, but he's just a marker for time in that particular title. And you can, you could Photoshop him, so as you go forward here and think what technology there'll be
Yeah.
then you see him get a little bit balder and a little bit balder.
I love that idea.
Okay, what's his mate? What's his mate called?
Adam.
Give him a bell.
So yeah, we had food, and this is what concerned me. What has happened to men and food?
Did they put the bib on? Is that what happens?
Oh, they've gone so like ladies. I'm sorry.
What?
Well, I remember the old days. People in comedy, TV. You know, they'd have a meat, a red
Steak and
wine.
chips.
Exactly.
Yeah, steak. I'd be all over that.
I ordered the fish and chips. David, I'll have the chicken and the. Have you got any okra?
Oh.
BBC executive had just a salad, please. I mean, how embarrassing for me with the fish and chips. I was like some
Yeah.
70s relic. They picked at the food.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Oh, goodness me.
This is they're all California
You're
now.
right, it's the modern man.
I know.
I went out the other night and I had rice pudding for tea.
Oh, nice.
I just had a nice tin of rice pudding.
Oh, that tin.
Yeah.
Did you order that in a restaurant?
No, I had it. I thought, you know what I fancy? I fancy nice rice pudding, so I had that. That was my dinner.
Did you eat it out of the tin?
No, I warmed it up.
Oh,
What do
he
you think I
paused.
am, an animal?
On occasion.
No, I warmed it up. It was really nice. So that, just thought I'd mention that.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Tell you what I do love in the news, a manhunt. I'm particularly pleased by a manhunt in the news.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I love
I'm
a
worried where
manhunt.
this is
It's got a
going.
bit of well, actually, this isn't a manhunt; it's a woman hunt. They're
Yeah.
in San Francisco. They're trying to find a woman who put in for recycling a load of computer bits and bobs, and one of
yes.
them was a rare Apple I computer,
Yes.
which is worth loads of money, tons, and they've sold it. And now
You'd be
they
a
wanna-
terrible journalist.
You think so?
I would be a very good
My
one.
first thought is, how much is this worth? It's worth loads of money.
We'll get back to you on those figures presently.
130 grand.
131,000.
Of
Pounds.
Pounds.
Yes.
That's
Whoa.
not dollars.
Yeah.
You know,
I've
that's-
never heard of the Apple one. Have you?
It was the first one.
So what's the current one called?
Oh, it's
It's
like
not. It's
a,
not. They haven't
it's
just
like a
numbered them, have they?
MacBook Pro or something.
Exactly.
Now, isn't it? Yeah,
Why
yeah.
isn't it like
Do you
the
know
Apple
what?
38?
This is like hearing Jonathan Ives and his assistant talking.
I don't know who that is.
The thing is, there's a
I'm embarrassed
picture
you
of
don't know
it.
who that is.
There's a
He's the
picture
big
of it.
cheese at Apple. He does. He designs it. all
Cheese
and
and
makes it
apple?
look-
One of my favourite sandwiches.
Very nice. Yeah.
I used to
Chutney.
peel the apple first. Now I don't bother.
No, why would
I've
you?
gone artisan.
Just whack it
Imagine
in
being
there.
the big cheese at Apple. You'd have a field day, wouldn't you?
I've had a look at this computer. There's a picture of it in there, and it looks rubbish. There's not a screen. There's not even a keyboard.
Oh, it's
I
it's
mean,
wood. It's made of wood.
it's wood. Who wants a wooden computer
Can I
for
tell you, it
131
looks-
grand?
It looks more like a mangle than a computer.
Absolutely. It's been
Actually.
bought by an idiot, I can tell you that. They could have got... They spent
been ripped
900
off.
quid, they could have got a laptop. I mean, what a fool.
Talk about a rip-off.
They could have got the new MacBook for.
And then kept 130 grand for spend.
They could have had a wooden thing made for it, like a radiograph. Yeah, they could have a wooden cover. So if that's
wants
what. If
a
that's what
wooden
they're.
computer?
So had a mangle on the side. They could have had a tumble dryer.
Yeah.
On it.
Early example of convergence technology there.
Exactly. Fusion.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. And it's not very portable, that thing. Imagine carrying that around. Get
I
back
don't
in.
know. You'd be all right if you're travelling by water. just float across with you.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I like the man where she lost it, or where she dropped it off.
So
Sorry.
what did
yeah.
she actually do then?
She
I think-
took I think her husband died and she took a load of old computer
Keep it
parts.
light.
I've always got one hand on the sad
Hang on,
button, you know.
you just had a go at him for not being journalistically forensic enough.
know.
He's giving you the full backstory.
I know, but
Yes,
we
she
didn't.
They
took
keep
in
it
various
away.
bits
Did we
and
need
bobs.
the bereavement?
And they
So
they
she had a
realised-
load of computers she wasn't using.
Yeah, and she dropped it off. The
He
guy...
was still using that, the bloke. He was electrocuted, that's how he died. Sorry, man.
But the
You
chap...
got
at-
RSI from the wooden keyboard.
I've been typing all afternoon, got a few splinters.
The chap at Clean Bay Company, which is where it was dropped off, said
Yeah.
he remembers her, and he said he offered her a receipt, but she said she didn't want one.
But what is this place? Is it like a tip, like a
What, are
public
you planning
Yeah.
on going there?
It's a recycling
Sorry,
centre.
It
called-
sounds like the beginning of an investigation on your part. You can
Oh,
go
it gets very
there.
forensic,
I'm holding a
doesn't it?
biro as well, detective style.
Yeah.
Tell me more, listen to this on the teeth.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more.
Where's,
So
your,
she-
where's your black coffee and your marriage problems?
I don't stick around. You know I don't drink coffee. But I hope do you recycle something like a computer?
I think you just give it to these people that know how to do it.
So they recycle the individual parts.
I
He
guess
doesn't
they
know. He
must.
doesn't work for Sir Alan, does
I
he?
reckon they probably take out the metal bits, and then the wood they probably use as kindling.
Oh, well.
You
And
know
the-
that wooden computer we've all been laughing at? It was first sold for $666. I think that's quite a lot of money back then.
That is a lot
that
of
would have
money.
been a lot
Yeah.
then.
Kindling. That's what Kindle should have a wooden
Kindle
Kindle
should
because
be
it's
kindling,
Kindle.
yeah.
But people don't think these things through. That's what I find annoying.
What, Apple?
Yeah.
They don't think things through.
No, they don't. They're flailing around like fools.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
It's about time we had some Sepp Blatter news.
Blatter news. Has there been any? Actually,
There'll be
there's
no
been a
Blatter bashing on this show.
No. He stood down, didn't he? He stood down and they stood up.
Yeah.
They gave him a 10-minute long standing ovation.
Yeah.
The staff.
The staff at FIFA. He must be all right.
What?
the
Oh, I
staff-
knew you were going to
Come
go
on.
down this road.
If I left here, would you give me a 10-minute standing ovation?
11. I think we'd give
Yeah,
you an
right.
11.
Right.
Very popular boss you are.
I'd be happy if I got a. All right. As I left. No, I tell you, he might be. You know, whatever else is. And can I say there is nothing established at all
No.
about SB.
No.
But he must be a popular boss.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you
10
say
minutes.
that, but you went positively
minutes.
Churchillian last week on this show. You were all over Twitter After,
Yes.
what did you say about England? You said you'd be more proud if they pulled out of the World Cup than if they won it, I believe.
Yes, I do think that, but that's only if corruption is established. Sepp might come out of this completely squeaky clean. I'm calling him Sepp now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seppo. Get a 10-minute standing ovation. How long before you run out of facial expressions?
Oh. 10 seconds?
It's tough, isn't it, to
Yeah.
keep that going?
Yeah.
That's why the photographs he's doing that thing where he's clenching his hands and sort of.
Yeah, but try
waving.
doing that for
No, but that is
10
his gesture.
God, he must have been so bored. I think they were all bored. Doing anything for longer than as long as 10 minutes is too much of anything, isn't it?
Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Well, you say that.
He says on a 3-hour-long radio show.
Exactly.
What about the chief executive of the Irish FA? I believe he's called John Delaney or something. He said that
Awesome.
Sepp
All right, Paxman.
he said that Sepp had once stared at his girlfriend for 7 or 8 seconds. This was in all the papers.
7 or
Really?
8 seconds.
And Sepp apparently
she had just
said-
broken wind with alarming ferocity.
Yeah.
And Sepp then said, I approve. And John said, I had to ask him to move on.
Jog
Move
on.
on.
I bet he said jog on.
Jog on.
Jog on, pal.
What do you make of that?
Well, she might have just said, I've just bought the complete works of John le Carre. He was a little startled, then he thought about it and said, I
Yeah.
approve. And why do people always look for the bad in Sepp?
If someone
They
stared
definitely
at
do.
your calf for 7 or 8 seconds, would you ask them to move on?
I don't think
I
I'd
said, I
ask them to
approve.
move on. It's a bit... Come on, nothing to see here. What did she have?
It's a bit, I'd like to thank the police.
Yeah, did she have yellow tape around her?
How weird,
People in
though.
high-vis jackets.
And why is he timing it? What, like, if somebody looked at my wife, I don't think I'd go, hang on, stopwatch time, click.
I should think he looked at every woman in the office during that 10-minute ovation.
God.
Oh,
Is it-
imagine.
What's the
And I hate
etiquette on
standing
checking
ovations, I
emails during a standing ovation? Would that be frowned upon, do you think?
They're clapping though, aren't they? It's too much. It's too. I mean, that's like a cardio workout. All that standing and clapping.
I find it exhausting.
Have you ever been to a classical concert?
No. Oh, maybe, yeah.
At the end... Oh, well...
Oh, do they applaud a lot, do they?
oh, it really goes
You described
on.
it as monstrous,
long-
can
You
I remind
actually
you?
have
Long old
to...
applause.
You have to pace yourself. So
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to clap.
Oh.
Any more than... Honestly, I have looked... By the time the conductors come out for the 3rd time, the woodwind have stood up for their bit. And I've looked at my hands, and they obviously look like I've been clutching an unclad boiler.
Oh.
And I haven't done that for a few years.
Hey.
It honestly
Or is it
really...
like you've been writing a document on an Apple Mac 1?
Yeah, but like burning, my hands burning, and then the violinists stand up. Oh, what's that? I just wish people had all together. They go 1, 2, 3. Everyone goes good, and then you just go.
Oh, really good if they've knocked it out.
I
Oh,
feel
really?
similarly when I go and see a friend doing a gig. I've got to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
With you two, I want you to hear me laughing and clapping.
Right.
Yeah, I'm all right, but at the end, I mean, clapping. That's
You
a
must love
common.
an ovation, you two.
Well,
I've never
I
had one. Never had a standing ovation. I don't want one.
Well, you
I
deserve
think-
one.
I think they're unlike. I think they're always a bit rubbish.
I think the only time I've had a standing
You had one,
ovation
Frank.
is when I dropped a tray with my dinner and pudding and a glass of water in the school dinner hall.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Congratulations to Van Morrison, who is now Sir Van Morrison.
I tell you what, he's done well for himself.
He has.
Is it Sir Lenny Henry?
It is, and Lenny Henry said that he said, this isn't for me, this is
Sir
for
Henry, Frank, sounds a bit like a 70s ventriloquist act. I don't like it.
Sir Henry.
Yeah, it's just a bit wrong.
Well, it's Sir Lenny, though, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think they go for the first name. No, but he said everyone who has done anything for comic relief shares in this award. So I could call myself Sir Frank.
That's nice.
Yeah, but when I say when do I get it? Like, you know, when do I get to
mantle.
wear it?
Mantelpiece.
So, and then we find out. So I think, is it raining?
Is this what it's come to?
We're starting with the weather
Sorry,
on
I'd like to
today's
thank
show.
the police, everyone.
What I'm setting up is
Is it
I went to
raining?
the seaside this week, and I'm
Oh,
trying
lovely
to set up.
setup.
I'm setting up the contrast. You see.
Oh,
Lovely setup, seamless.
I
Yes.
see.
Well, it would have been.
How's the...
How's your week been,
Sorry
Frank?
to ruin your joke,
It
Frank.
wasn't a joke. It
I'll
was
say it
scene
wasn't.
setting.
How's the seaside, Frank?
Oh, it was lovely. I went to Whitstable, which, if you don't know, is in Kent.
Oh, yeah.
And Oh, man. I'll tell you the first thing. The parking was absolutely impossible.
Partridge, is it raining? The parking?
No, but I drove round the town.
It's upsetting, isn't it?
I was on my 7th or 8th circuit of the town.
No, I feel your pain.
You know when you start to get that feeling in your stomach there might not be anywhere there at all?
I can't leave this car just anywhere.
Did I tell you about when I lived in Birmingham? A mate drove us. We were going to go to Oxford for the day, and he drove us to Oxford, and we drove round and round. He couldn't find a parking space anywhere, and he went off. Oh! And he drove us back to Birmingham with me sitting in complete silence on the way back because I was too frightened to speak. He was so furious, he just completely gave up. And every time I have a moment like that in Whitstable, I have that flashes before me. Am I just going to turn round?
I relate to that. I do that, I think.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
You know what I'm enjoying about this is just the visible excitement on the cockerel's face as he saw you mentioned parking.
I really want to get forensic about the parking problems of Whitstable.
But speaking about parking, what about when you actually find somewhere? I mean, it is it's better than being knighted.
Yeah.
It is.
It's amazing.
Because it's something more real and practical about it.
The papers have overlooked that for today, haven't they? Frank Skinner finds parking space. They've overlooked that.
Frank, do you put what I call the possessive indicator on to say this is mine? No other brothers coming near.
Well, I got in close on this, but the thing is, it was one of those when it was old couple about to leave. Well, that can mean anything.
3 hours.
They couldn't get the sandwiches out, couldn't they?
I bet you I was there. I'm no kidding. I was there. I bet 8 minutes while they were. Why they remembered how to drive again. That's what it felt like. Have you get the manual? Is that the gear? That's the gears, isn't it? It felt like that. But they pulled out and I went into the space. Honestly, I can't tell you the elation. I felt talking about it now, reliving it now, I'm quite emotional.
Right.
Did you give them a little wave as they emerged?
I was sick of them by then.
And did you stay elated on the 7-mile walk to the centre of Whitstable, or was it just was it a space that was pretty handy?
No, he
hasn't even talked us through his space insertion yet.
No, but the joy. I tell you what. I went formal. I went in head first into the space.
Rogue.
Whoa.
Yeah. No.
Why? Why so?
Because I'd waited so long. I just wanted to get in there before something else happened.
I understand.
I don't. I mean, I'm a big fan of reversing in, but I rarely have the courage. I thought about reversing in and just lost my nerve at the last minute. For me, reversing in is like doing a degree. Because, deferred gratification, do you know the idea of that? You put all the hard work and difficulty in because your reward will come later. And is there any better feeling than walking back to the car knowing you've reversed in, so it's going to be a straightforward? That you've done all the hard yakka. But I didn't do that.
More parking later.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Talking about parking this morning.
That was one aspect of my trip to Whitstable, is that it took a long time to park. But I made it.
It's an aspect that the people have picked up on, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. Am I being applauded? Nationwide?
Well, people are joining in.
Not the first time you've asked that question.
People are joining in. 032 has texted, when I went to see Rammstein with my dad.
Oh,
one of Frank's favourites.
We live in America. Go on.
We
Appears to
managed
turn into Dracula, Rammstein.
Listen to this story. We managed to get a parking spot underneath the covers of the O2 next to the tour bus.
Shut up.
What? Surely you weren't supposed to be there.
I bet there's a space. There's spaces everywhere.
Rammstein played the O2?
Yeah.
Really?
That's the bit of this story that you think's impressive.
There must have been Indigo Bar.
I don't know who Rammstein are.
Rammstein are a sort of German thrash metal type band.
One of Jonathan Ross's favourites.
Wouldn't they be in the big room then?
I'd be
There's
surprised
not that much call for it these days. That kind of music, is there, Frank? Let's be honest. It's you and Jonathan Ross listening, and that's it.
That's it. And I don't think either of us went. No one did he park next to the tour bus.
It's not like you've been conspicuous or anything. Jonathan in a canary yellow suit.
You haven't gone far to walk. The gig was on the tour bus. Okay, well, what a result that is.
Isn't it? I mean, there are more people texting in stories of successful
so
parking.
many.
But I don't
Well, what about 538? Hi guys. Not sure about guys, but anyway.
I'm not sure about high. Is it a legal high or?
I think that is a legal high.
Okay, fine.
It's texting a radio station.
Hi guys. Reparking. My friend and
I like, you say. He's clawed it back.
He wasn't anticipating a comprehension exercise for his email, but there you go. Reparking. My friend and I drove to Manchester one Saturday for an evening out clubbing. Oh, I'm getting the picture.
Legends.
And couldn't find a single car parking space after driving around the circuit for 1 hour.
Oh.
Good use of circuit.
The horror.
We found a car park with 2 spaces, but it was only open until midnight. And to no avail, as we intended to stay at the club until 2 a.m.
At least.
Hence we gave up and drove back home.
No,
had a
they did it
takeaway.
as well. Oh.
And even had to top up petrol on the way home as we'd wasted so much. That's from Julia in Dale Hall in the Midlands.
You see, I think the secret is that you can park a little bit out of town and walk in, and if it's absolutely desperate.
Yeah.
Anyway, I also did something I haven't done for 15 years or more. I played tennis.
Ooh.
Did you, Frank?
And I'll tell you what I did. I hit this ball. Now one of you'll know the rule on this. I hit this mighty lob into the sky. It went up, it bounced just about 6 inches over the net.
Yeah.
And then it came back and landed on my side.
Oh.
Now, we had a bit of a debate about whether that was my point or not.
So did it initially bounce in the opponent's?
It bounced over there and then it came back to me. Now, I thought, if I can do this on a regular basis, I could beat anyone in the world.
Sarah on the show.
Sarah, who's working on the show today,
Who
is
looks
shaking
like
her head
a
as
bit
if
of a tennis
she's-
buff, and she is. She's saying no.
What's that?
It's got to touch the racket. So if it's not hit his racket, then he's fouled.
Well, it hasn't got to touch the racket, has it? What about an ace?
Well then, because you've won the point.
Yeah, so you have won the point.
Yeah.
So Frank has won
Does that
the
mean
point.
I've won the point if it doesn't touch his racket?
Yeah, if it bounces again
I'll
before...
get back to you.
Okay. Well,
I think
I
you
could
get
beat
that point.
Nadal if I can do that on a regular
Just do
basis.
really high
No, you
lobs
could.
that
Don't call
bounce
him
back into
Nadal.
your own court.
What's his
Frank, if
name?
you're playing him, don't call him Hi Nadal.
What's his name
It's
then?
Nadal.
Oh, for goodness sake.
You could call him Rafa if you're on
I
first
love the
names.
days when he'd have just been Ralph Nadal. You know what I
That
mean?
exists.
Terry
It's not his
Henry.
name.
No, but Terry Henry. Because we used to anglicise names in the good old days. Now we have to go, Jose Mourinho. Joe Mourinho, he would have been. Well, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for the swapping of nationalities across the globe. But, you know, when in Rome, let them call you what they want to call you. Every Indian bloke I knew in the 70s was called someone like Fred or Dave. They just couldn't be bothered. They couldn't be
Put the
bothered.
music on.
They couldn't be bothered
Put it
to
on.
explain the real one.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'm not sure we've got absolute conclusive answer to your tennis question, but 240 has helpfully texted, I'm sure that tennis query works in table tennis. That's it. That's
Okay, but I hasn't really answered it, but it's
Well,
good to know.
We've had an answer.
Good to know
Okay.
the two worlds haven't completely become diverse.
My boyfriend, who, as you know, is something of a boffin, he knows about this kind of stuff. He says it is definitely your point. And Sarah, we've established on the show, is a qualified tennis coach.
And she didn't know.
didn't use
She had to
memory.
Google it.
Used to Google without...
Clarify.
I was playing tennis
But
with
Sarah
a tennis
says
coach.
it is Frank's point.
In that case, I could beat anybody in the world if I could do that on a regular basis.
You
because-
couldn't.
That's the if.
Of course
That's
you
the if, I
couldn't.
think.
I could. No, I couldn't. Of course I could.
If.
Because how could they possibly...
Frank.
How can you beat someone who hits the ball and it bounces back over the net? It'd be like the Fosbury flop, you know, somebody does something
Yeah.
who changes sport forever, like the reverse sweep.
The reverse sweep.
Yes, it's something that Sooty told me about. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, but you couldn't constantly recreate that shot every single time. Do you think people might catch on to what you're doing?
Yeah, but if I've never worked at, no one's ever worked at it. Now I know I can do it. All I've got to do is have half an hour on the court. I could win Wimbledon.
Half an hour.
Well, it might take longer than that.
Who
but-
needs the 10,000? Just half an hour will do.
Yeah, but because I've got a shot that basically ruins the game.
Yeah.
That brings me endless victory.
I wonder if they've ever encountered that. And
I'd be paid off. I bet I'd be paid off by the national tennis.
Paid off, Frank.
I would.
Who's just going to spend money on that?
You wouldn't accept that.
Where are FIFA when you need them? If they were running tennis, I'm sure I could make millions out of this. They're just paying me not to play.
I love the idea that they bother paying you.
Because I'd ruin it. I'd ruin tennis. The other person would just be standing. They wouldn't even take their trackies off, the other person.
Well, here's the thing, though. How's it going to start? Like, let's imagine that I'm a world-class tennis player. You're playing me.
Okay.
So it's your serve.
Let's say it's
You
Ralph
serve it to
Nadal.
me, and I crack it back. And then
Okay.
you absolutely welly it up into the air, do you?
That's it.
Bounces in my side of the court,
And then it's over.
and then it's back over to your
My
side.
point. What's your problem? What's complicated about it?
What if I run in and just let it... I just nudge it back your
It's
way?
not as easy as it bounces and then it's over the net. I don't think you realise the difficulty. Once it's gone back over the net, it gets very. They don't
Right.
normally have to cope with playing shots the other side of the net.
Do you serve
what, you're
underarm? I bet you do.
I do not serve underarm.
Wow.
Certainly not. I wish I'd gone in for a bit of underarm about third serve in because
Oh,
it
really?
smelt terrible. On the upward stroke. I serve with the flat hand. That's something a tennis coach. Because I used to throw the ball in the air, it used to go a bit wayward.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't really throw it. I put it on my flattened palm and I just push it into the air.
Oh, nice.
And then I hit it like there's no Tamara Beckwith. And off it goes. There you go. Tennis tips. They get everything in this show.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
What happened? You have to talk. That's
Well-
the
Yeah,
job.
well, we are going to.
You know, but we have expectations to talk.
You were discussing the shoulder, and we've had a text from John in Telford. A girl I used to work with once asked me if I thought she had a sexy neck, and he's got an exclamation mark there.
But I think next...
Sounds like she was flirting.
I think... Yeah, maybe, unless she was...
I think my neck's my best point.
do you really?
I do.
Oh, I've never really noticed your neck. Why don't you wear
thanks
your
for that.
hair up, then?
Yeah, that's a good
Why
point.
cover it with your hair?
Okay.
Don't be so bashful, Emily.
Okay, I'll
There's
put
a
it up, I'll
sentence
put it
I
up
did
in
not
a,
expect
in a
to
bun
say.
like a Victorian cook.
What's my best physical point, I wonder?
You've got good calf muscles, haven't you? You've got a good pair of legs
What?
on you, haven't you?
Thanks, Al.
It's all right. You
You've
asked.
got, you know what? You've got lovely hands.
Yeah, but hands is not very good. I could do that hand modelling.
I've got
Yeah.
nice hands too, but
I work as a medieval...
about me.
I'm a medieval teeth double in films.
What? Do you know what? Frank Dreddy's got a green tooth.
you've got a green tooth.
Something you
What?
share, you and him. Yeah,
Has he got a
Dreddy's
red one as well?
I don't know, but he's got a green one.
He hasn't got red, gold and green, red, gold and green. Ooh! Have I added that bit? Is that in the original?
Don't remember the Doberman Pinscher coming to the studio.
What in it? Sunshade? Whose shot is he? Of course, they can only see in black and white dogs. It'd be a rubbish game.
Good point.
Right,
Well,
what
we've
about? Sorry.
We've also had a text on the subject of the tennis and actually on beauty to a certain extent. Hi Frank, this
Lovely.
time last year you mentioned that you wanted to be with the flat stomach Djokovic crew. How's that going?
How's that working out for
did
you,
get
love?
obsessed.
It's true.
by
I
his-
watched Al Murray and... did he play Djokovic last year?
Al Murray.
No, not Al Murray.
He's everywhere.
Andy
He
Murray.
ran for MP. He
I've
tried
never-
to win Wimbledon.
I've never watched Andy Murray.
That guy.
Did he wear the
He needs to
purple
just-
blazer whilst he played?
Yes, I watched
That was his
His
logo.
ambition a bit.
I watched Al Murray and thought, I wish I'd got a lovely flat stomach like that. Well, look at. I'm going to show my. What do you think?
He's getting his tongue out.
What do you think?
No,
Goodness me, that's pretty
it's
flat.
not half bad.
It's not too bad,
It
is it?
really isn't.
all right.
For a man of your years,
Well, exactly.
I
Have you
think
been
you're in very
secretly
good
working
nick.
on that for
A
12
lot of men
months?
my age haven't got a stomach. It's
What do you mean?
It's all done by a machine. So, you know, let's give thanks for small mercies.
The best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You know who I want to talk about this morning? is R. Keith, as I like to call him.
Okay.
Keith Richards.
Oh, yes. him.
Richards. No
Yeah.
relation.
No.
Because that's my surname.
Oh, yeah. Makes a change from, do you know Keith Richards? No, but thanks for the tip.
So he's been
Could be a verb.
Yeah.
he's been piping up. They do
say
pipe up
piping.
these old rockers,
Well,
don't they?
yeah, it's heroin for you.
He's Absolute Radio is drugs free. Thank you.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry.
He's one of the fans
disapprove.
of Guyliner, as I believe it's called.
Oh, was he?
Because Frank and I were talking about the eyeliner comics the other week, weren't we?
Yes.
There's comics who favour the eyeliner. It's called Guyliner,
Ah.
actually, Frank.
Yeah, it's one of the ways to get popular with a young audience. Is put a bit of eye. Do the same material you've always done, but put a bit of
Eyeliner
on,
and lie about your
suddenly-
age.
Suddenly you're cool.
Mascara?
Yeah. No, that's
How far
don't go
should
the
I
whole
go?
hog.
No, we
Okay.
just had a bit of a snog. So,
No, I
yes.
think we need to take some time to give that what it deserves.
So,
so,
where does
well-
Keith dwell now? Is he
Our
still in
Keith?
England?
Oh, we'll be in a tax haven somewhere. These
He-
people always are.
Is there such a thing now as a tax haven?
Monaco, Montreux, all the M's. He's been very rude about Sergeant Pepper's.
Yes.
Oh, no.
He's not topical with his criticism.
only just got round-
1967.
You don't want to rush into anything.
Exactly.
He's only just got around to listening to it.
Yeah.
He says,
He's just heard about it.
Oh, I knew what I was going to say. It's come back to me. That's what he said.
Yeah, what was I saying about? Oh yeah, Sergeant Pepper's.
hold that thought.
Yeah, he was interrupted in September 1967. He's just got his train of thought back.
What he said about
His
it.
train of thought. Did I tell you when I saw
yeah.
the Rolling Stones live that Mick Jagger went up? They started the intro to Soul Train. You know
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Get on, that one. Mick Jagger went off stage and came back on with a Mac on, just for that number. Why have you done that?
Oh, I
Put
got
a Mac on to sing Soul Train.
when Daisy. Well, he's probably feeling the chill.
What are you on a
he on
train?
about?
Shut the window.
Shawl.
So what? What R. Keith said? He said, "I think they just got carried away." Oh, I love that. That's the thing. And Nana says, "Don't get carried away."
Yeah.
Such an old person's thing. He also said about Sergeant Pepper's, "Chicks wore these guys out."
Yeah.
which is very 1960s.
Chicks wore these guys off the Beatles.
Meaning the
Yeah.
Beatles.
Wow.
But also, that's not even true, because Paul McCartney, he never got worn out by chicks. He was down on that farm dyeing his hair aubergine.
And the next thing he said was, "Dead, you say?" When was this?
I thought he was just very tired
And then he said,
from
"Him as
chicken
well."
farming.
Oh dear, poor Keith. Keith, they call him.
I
don't
can't wait to hear his review of Brief Encounter next week.
they? Mind you, here I am reviewing On Bolt's Gift. They could call this the late review show.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were just talking about what did we call it? Late review.
Hashtag late review.
Yes, in which we
Not the show with Tom Paulin.
review things now.
No, that.
I used to do a Tom Paulin impression. Oh, did you do one
I
as
think
well?
everybody does, don't
Yeah, I
they?
think is it that Irish guy?
I don't think everybody
Yeah.
does, Frank.
I
in
bet
fairness.
Gareth does. Do you do one,
It's
Gareth?
fun, yeah. It's
Shall
good
we all?
fun.
Shall we do? Let's
Okay.
do a relay. Tom.
Can we
You
have-
start off
okay.
as Tom Paul?
This is my Tom Paulin. Emily Dean speaking. I don't know.
Why we're even reading him today because
I like poetry.
that's it. There you go. You don't often hear a Tom Paul in
Relay.
I think he used to.
Brother of Tar, I believe.
Oh yes, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Inventor of.
Yeah, Tarpaulin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
And-
I feel like I've got to explain them sometimes. Just keep
The
everyone on
jokes?
board. Yeah, the jokes.
And Alan Paulin, who is known as A. Paulin.
Heard he's awful.
Yeah, he is. He's.
This is awful.
I know, but it's all right. You know.
It's not all right. Very far from all right.
No, I know. But
So we're talking about hashtag late review.
David Williams says Breaking
close,
Bad.
so close. I thought you fessed up.
David Williams, Breaking Bad was so overrated, struggled through 3 seasons series, but it was a chore.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like Breaking
Hashtag-
Oh,
Bad.
I'd say, without doubt, the last 20 years of American TV drama, apart from Gotham, I'd be happy to watch
Frank-
Incinerated.
Frank likes Gotham.
Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, I think so.
That Frank hates any box sets.
But I think there's all...
Apart from Gotham.
Occasionally you have to stand back and think...
You have to buy them.
Don't just listen to what everyone's saying. What do I think? What
Yeah.
do I
Yeah.
think? Queen. No. I don't like Queen.
think she's
They
all
are...
right.
No, not her. I've gone off her since a modern art thing. We won't go into that. Queen...
You
what-
don't like them?
Queen, they weren't a serious band. They didn't used to be a serious band, and people have misremembered them. They were like Shawaddy Waddy to rock music. What Shawaddy Waddy was to rock and roll.
Shorty
Oh, but
wants
I
to
love
rock and-
Shawaddy Waddy.
Okay, but they fessed up. Anyway, I'm not condemning anyone who loves them. I'm just saying my own personal thing.
Yes,
Morecambe
just
and Wise.
personal.
You don't like them?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you something about Morecambe and Wise. If you ever watch an entire Morecambe and Wise show, not just highlights.
Right, this is so going to end up. I mean, it'll be page 9, but this will end up in the
No,
Daily
but
Star.
you know, they're look. They can be. They're brilliant with Andre Previn, and they're brilliant when they do that thing where they throw toast at each other, and they're brilliant. For 25 minutes in their 40-year career, they were absolutely fantastic, and that's the only 25 minutes. If you was to take this show, which has been on 6 years,
Yes.
find the best 25 minutes and only ever watch that, people would think we were geniuses.
Like that Tom
Well,
Paulin relay.
You were geniuses. I don't think I'd be in it, but it
Oh,
would be a
come
good
now.
25 minutes.
But if
Hashtag needy.
If you watch, I don't know if you watched one year, they showed a load of Christmas specials. So not
Yeah.
just There Is
Morecambe
Nothing
and
Like a
Wise,
Dame, but the full thing.
Yeah.
Watch the full thing.
Okay, why?
Terrible.
There's good bits.
I can't say that.
But some brilliant bits. But I knew the brilliant bits because it's those 20 minutes of brilliant bits that you just see.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I think he was a naturally funny bloke, Eric, but most of the show nowadays would be torn to pieces.
Blimey.
Good night.
This is the best of Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've got another overrated, 596. Ed
On a different
Sheeran,
subject.
Sam Smith,
Oh.
Adele,
Oh.
and wait for it, Jimi Hendrix.
Whoa.
Hashtag late review.
Yeah, 3 current reviews. 3 stalwarts of Absolute Radio.
Yeah.
And then the mighty Jimi Hendrix, perhaps the greatest and innovative guitar player of all time. You can't please everybody.
No.
Okay. And also he did release those parrots, which have infested much of London.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we won't go into that.
That was him. Well, speaking of wildlife, this week I took my family to the National Natural History Museum.
The National Natural History Museum. Just British animals.
It is the Natural History Museum, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, where they've got all the stuff, and it was lots of fun.
I bet it was a big...
That's their strapline, in fact, where we've got all that stuff.
Yeah.
They paid Saatchi's 180 grand for that back in the day.
Is it, isn't it an enormous queue for the dinosaurs? Is that...
Well, Laura did research. That's the name of my wife.
Yes, Laura.
She did some research about the best way to do it, and they said arrive early, and you do have to queue outside, but then once you get in, straight into the dinosaurs.
Yes.
So, and it really
That was
worked
good
very well,
research.
yeah. And the thing is, it went inside when you queue for the dinosaurs, it gets very hot. And I took as you know, I had quite a religious upbringing. So I was taught that God created the world in 7 days. And dinosaurs, we weren't...
Didn't do the day off in your religion.
Oh yeah, 6 days and then had the day off.
God, you've got that Protestant work ethic's getting out of control.
You still get paid for holidays.
Oh, yeah.
It still counts as...
I love
part
you
of the,
two doing your religious banter.
Not enough of that, I always say, on commercial radio.
But I wanted to...
Oh, sorry, I just started a sentence and I had no breath. Did you hear it? I might listen back to that on the podcast. And I wouldn't stop. I was determined to get... I had no air. I was going on vapour.
Yeah. Well done for getting through it.
Oh, but I know what I think I've pulled. I think my lungs have sort of closed in a bit on me.
How do you feel now?
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm okay. Sorry, Gareth. Carry on.
Sorry.
But so we wanted to let our children decide for themselves. I mean, I've changed what I think about the creation of the universe.
Okay.
I actually did a debate at school.
Light review. This is really that. This is the latest ever. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, this is by the way, but I did at school. I did a debate about creationism versus evolution.
Okay.
Lovely.
And I was on the creationist side.
Wow.
Yeah. How about that?
Oh, Frank will like you, won't he?
I knew how to make friends at school.
Yes.
But anyway, so we wanted our kids to be able to decide for themselves about God versus dinosaurs.
Okay.
Bad news. Dinosaurs are awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are a lot of fun
Yeah.
and quite scientifically proven.
Well.
But anyway.
You can't just say, well.
I don't think Jurassic Park stands up in a court of law.
And we went into the mammals room, which has got all the big
Mammals?
stuffed dead animals.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a zoo, but with dead animals.
Well, I was saying, I went to the one in Scotland during the last
What
Edinburgh
did they
Festival.
have? A few squirrels?
No, they had all sorts of Scottish animals. Yaks, they
Oh,
had.
yeah.
Midge, stuffed midge.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't take long. And just put a pea in it, a dried pea. And I was saying then, it's better than a zoo, really. They all come out, then there's none of them skulking in the back private quarters.
In the zoo, they all hide.
Yeah, it's no bars required. You get close to them, and if there's nobody about, you can get a good hold of the pelt.
No bars required. I don't
bars.
believe that.
That's true. I'll just stop Scottish people from wrestling them to the ground. Oh, God, it's been quite a morning here. Queen fans, Morecambe Ice fans, Scottish people.
You're listening to Absolute Radio.